up, guys? Derek Spallone of Spallone Sports. We're here with the number one magician. So you pulled it out right now, the number one magician. My God, Jibrizy. How are you, man?
I'm doing good.
Good. Nice to be joined by you. See how I just pulled that out?
Yeah, I see that coming.
You didn't see it coming.
This whole time he was sitting there, I didn't know he had a foam finger with him.
And he's the magician. He's the illusionist, man. But I had to get him on that one. So just throughout the opening pitch here at Guarantee Rate Field, White Sox Marlins. What was that experience like for you?
Dude, it was amazing. To be on the plate, to throw the ball, the energy, everybody yelling your name and everything. I'm like, yo, this is great. I had a couple more fans than I expected to actually be in the stands, so that was amazing, bro. That felt exuberating.
So we didn't get to see the video clip, but is it as hard as you see 50 Cent's video? You see this is it that hard?
So I'm gonna just say, I threw the ball and it went say the plate's right here, whoop, that way. So yeah, it ain't as easy as this. I mean, you get one pitch, you might have been practicing and hitting it the entire time, but when you get up there, you definitely just mess up.
Did you get a couple practice reps? Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, how many would you say you practiced?
I probably practiced good, just throwing it 30 times yesterday, maybe 10 times a day, and got up there and I completely just messed that all up. Yep.
It's all good. Hey, man, at least it's the experience, right? It's
great experience.
Have you ever done this before? Is this at the Cubs or with any other
I'm
team?
an artist. I'm not an athlete.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just curious if this was a once a lifetime opportunity, so to speak, where it's you gotta soak that moment in, right? Because it doesn't happen every day.
Yeah. It definitely was a once in a lifetime moment. I soaked all of it in, man.
And then,
all of it in.
And then, as we mentioned too, the last couple of days, you had the opportunity to be around, see the business side of baseball, go in the clubhouse and everything like that. What was that moment like too?
That felt amazing. I almost, in a sense, kind of feel like I work here.
Okay.
Only been here for 4 days.
4 days.
So far, but hey, man, that's 4 days enough to make me know that Jibrizy might be an official, person of the White Sox, maybe just the official magician, if they need one.
They
might need one.
If they need one. He's the man right here.
Right
He's
here.
going to run you for Employee of the Month, and it's only been a couple of days.
4 days. I might get it too.
4 days.
I put 4 days of work.
You might get there. You talked about your baseball experience, but of course, the reason that you are here is you're one of the most elite magicians. When did your passion for magic stem from, and when did you discover, your passion for it?
It was David Blaine, who I seen on TV. That was a big inspiration of. Just seeing David Blaine alone made me just want to start doing magic, and Chris Angel kind of put more fuel behind the fire when I seen him, and I just love the infectious feeling of seeing people react to these moments and we can share them together. So that's where a lot of it stems from.
Do you see the impact that you have on people's lives? Not just from the trick, but even post after. You know what I'm saying? Where these people are just so overwhelmed with emotion.
Oh man, dude, what's crazy? I always knew I was affecting people's lives out there, but when I started meeting the fans and they started coming up to me, it started to become much more serious than I thought. Because in my head, I was I'm just doing magic that, no one probably cares that much, and then you start to meet the fans and it's yo, okay, well, they see me as a superhero, they're getting brave off of watching what I'm doing and stuff like that. They're finding hope within themselves, courage in themselves from what I'm doing. So now it's yo, this is a lot of responsibility on one person, So that's the change I'm starting to see. It's just the courage I'm instilling in people, and a lot of my fans definitely are very outspoken people. They're a reflection of me. It's amazing.
Right. I was gonna say that's got to be in some ways propels you to keep on going too, right? Because like anybody else, I'm sure you have tough days, right? Tough patches, but just knowing man, all these people are behind you, rooting for you, supporting you. Yeah. It's got to be this amazing feeling that just propels you to keep going.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, man. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll be 100% honest. Some days I'm I wake up and I'm real happy.
Right.
And then some days I'm can I just wake up at this time and I'll be even more happier, right? But that don't always happen. I'm you gotta get up, because in my head, I literally think this in my head. I'm you made a promise to the world, buddy. Come on, just get yourself up. Oh my God, bro. It's a lot of pressure at this point. It's a ton.
How do you feel you've handled it though? Do you feel that's something that over the course of time you gradually embraced it, as opposed to maybe shying away from that responsibility?
I've embraced it.
Yeah.
I want all the smoke. I ain't gonna lie. It's kind of fun to me at this point. I want all of it, all the smoke. Yeah. So I love it. It makes me genuinely happy on the inside.
Right.
That like this is like now my responsibility. Yeah.
When would you say was the moment you noticed? Because like anything else, when somebody starts off, right? I don't want to say like we stink at what we do, right? But it's a learning process, right? And you grow and you kind of hit that trajectory and you hit that peak. Mm-hmm. When would you say was that moment for you where you realized like, yo, I can do this and this is what I want to do for forever?
Here's the one thing about magic.
Yeah.
The idea of magic has no peak. So wherever I'm at, it's just like, it could be like, and I think with every other industry, most industries are just kind of like magic, and magic is just that pure representation of like no cap, right? And magic is obviously supposed not to be a cap. Everything is supposed to be possible. That's kind of the issue. When I felt like I hit it, I'm gonna say when I won Penn and Teller Fool Us.
Okay.
When I won Fool Us, that was like the moment when I was like, yeah, this is about to become a lot more serious than I thought.
And that's when you do like, man, I'm in my element. This is me. Like.
Yeah. I could see the people. I always knew I had like great energy, and this is not to brag. I just always knew I had like happy energy, just because I always wanted to portray that, and I knew other people would see it, and they would want to come and get attracted to the energy. Because misery loves company, but I also believe happiness does like company too. You know what I mean? And I just from putting that out on TV. I just knew it was gonna attract a whole other crowd of people who I've always wanted to be around, like yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
100%, man. And we, like I said, we appreciate you hanging out with us. So, but I want to tie along with that. Where do you think that happiness and that positive vibes and attitude comes from? Like, where does that come from for you? Family ties, growing up, like where do you think that was implemented for you in your mindset?
I say not being able to be myself sometimes. That's what I would say. Because you get around certain people who make you feel like you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, right? And you get the most happiness when you're being yourself, right?
100%. Yep.
And that's what pushed me so hard, because I just wanted to be myself by any cost. No matter how other people felt about it, no matter what they thought about my opinions, I just wanted to be me, right? But be me and be happy with who I am, right? That's what propelled me the most, I feel. And I think that it's been the only thing that's been fueling me at this point. Like, the more I can get comfortable with being Jibrizy, because it's like, I'm really comfortable with being myself, but it's at times like I still sit there and I'm like, bro, do I still have this? I feel the uncomfortability of like expressing more things in myself, And as I start to peel back those layers, I can start to see like there's a human being that even I haven't seen. That's where all this happiness comes from, and it's that journey of just being yourself.
Yeah, and I love that, because I think that brings me back to a quote. They say the greatest thing, I know it might blush us a little bit, but the greatest thing in the world is being yourself in a world that's trying to make you into somebody, like change you, make you into somebody else, just to be able to be yourself, and I think you've shown that, because I'm sure, like you said, man, like Hollywood, right? Like you mentioned off the camera, could be a little phasing sometimes, right? Could be a little overwhelming, but I think you've always just stayed true to you. You know what I mean? And that's very noble, because like you said, there's those patches where that can be very difficult to see, and I'm sure you have peers that you're like, hey man, like you weren't like that this time, but now it's
now it's different. It can become very conflicting between like you want to be an entertainer and then this is what you want to do, and sometimes who you are is conflicting with what you want to do. But I put my faith, my belief in that being myself would never truly conflict with what will happen, what will be the outcome. Because sometimes it's like, I sit back and like, I remember one time I stated my opinions about like college, and I lost a sponsorship because of that.
Really?
Right? Yeah.
Wow.
And then they didn't want to work with me anymore because they found some stuff about like my opinions. But then like now I'm booked for colleges like all the time. So like it never really like fazed me that much, you know.
Yeah.
But I thought it would, you know, when that first deal got snatched away. And but I'm not gonna change what I feel unless I genuinely feel like I was wrong. But I feel like I was pretty right on how I felt about the moment and situation I went through, because I'm just like everybody else. You know what I mean? Like, got my opinion, and I'm gonna stay true to it.
And I think you have that platform too.
Yeah.
And you see it all the time, obviously us on the sports side, but you being a sports fan and being involved in that space, like that's the big thing, right? Is athletes want that opportunity to use their platform to speak, you know, and have their voice heard.
Yes.
You know, on topics that aren't just about sports.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. I think that, like, you know, I think it's so silly when people say you're just an athlete, no one asks you for your opinion, but that person's also a person that pays taxes just like you. That person's a person who loves their family just like you.
Right.
They're a person who, you know, cares for things just like you.
Right.
They just tend to have a platform.
Right.
You know, that's it. It's the only difference, you know?
Right.
So their voice is gonna be a little stronger, but they earned it though.
Yeah.
They definitely earned it.
Yeah. 100%.
Man, this game was getting loud. They are happy about what is ever happening here. Yeah, if you don't know, right now we're at the White Sox game. Joe, real happy.
Hopefully Joe doesn't get fined by the MLB for grabbing some of that in-game.
Yeah.
We
Don't worry, man. We got some good lawyers.
We'll make sure we're good. Well, no, I want to tie on over here. So, as we're mentioning, kind of segueing with athletes, you've had the opportunity to perform for some high-profile athletes. Steph Curry.
Yes.
I know you've engaged with LeBron James.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster, and then some other notable celebrities, Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart.
Yep.
What story stands out the most to you from those encounters?
Oh man, what story stands out the most?
And we can't forget to mention Chicago's very own Chance the Rapper, and then, as well. So I know that was a big moment, I'm sure, for you too.
Yeah. Meeting Chance is amazing.
Yeah.
I always wanted to meet Chance too, because I was like, it's weird. Because here's the great thing, like the weird thing that always happened. I would walk out throughout Chicago, and someone would tell me Chance just left.
Really?
So I'd be coming into some place and be like, Chance just left.
Wow.
That'd be like 5 times, and I finally met him.
Wow.
But the story that stands out the most, I would think, is Steve Harvey.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. So I was at Family Feud. They were doing a taping.
Where's that at, by the way? Is that in
Hollywood?
In Hollywood. Okay.
It's in Hollywood, right?
Gotcha.
And I was like, all right. I was with this girl at this time, and I was like, all right, she got the tickets, so we just went.
Yeah.
I went in this big fur coat. It's like the summertime basically, and I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
So now, at this point, I'm sitting in the front. Right? I'm watching Family Feud. Steve looks over at me and he says, "You remind me of my pimp friend," right? So I remind him of a friend that was a pimp because I got this big fur coat on. And if you know anything about pimps, they wear fur coats, right?
This is awesome, man.
So I'm like, you know, then he starts cracking jokes on me, tells this whole story about this friend. And then
on the air, or is this?
It's off camera.
Okay.
It's all off camera.
Like, what is going on?
Right?
But yeah.
And then the next thing you know, I'm like, "Yo, Steve, can I show you a magic trick?" I just seen my opportunity. I went for it, right?
Perfect.
And here's the crazy thing, right? I showed him a trick. He was amazed. He was mind blown.
Yeah.
But note you, I've asked to be on the Steve Harvey show. I submitted to be on that show.
Okay.
And I didn't get any responses, right? But it was amazing that they still filmed me showing Steve a trick, and it was almost like I got to be on the Steve Harvey show next to Steve Harvey, right? Because they reposted it like 2 months later, right after I performed for him, and I'm like, it's crazy how the universe works. I feel like as if, like, you know, I definitely don't have like a lot of backing like some magicians or, you know, certain celebrities. I've always been able to make these opportunities happen for myself, which I'm just like, if I see the opportunity, I'm like, no, that was meant for me. And there'll be obstacles in my way, like with Chance the Rapper, right? He had a bodyguard, and his bodyguard would not let me show him a trick.
Really?
And I just recently seen him at Complex Con, and he was like, "Touche, man." He was like, "Yo, I seen you still got that footage." He gave me a lot of respect because my mentality has never been, you can tell me no. You tell me no, I literally want to break rules.
Right.
Like, and I think that's the concept of a magician. Be mischievous, right? Break rules. I mean, you're already breaking rules when you're doing magic. Like, an object is not supposed, like, things aren't supposed to levitate, move, and all that. So that's already breaking the laws of nature. Right. So, like, what is this rule that this human's making? It's nothing to me. Like, I'll break that rule too. You know, so that's always been like my mindset. You know, break as many rules as possible and just beg for forgiveness after. So if you ever want to work with Jibrizy and you need some stuff done, don't worry. I got the great mentality to just get it done.
See, and that's what I want to tie into. Like, that's amazing in some ways, right? Because it's rare to have that quality to overcome, to persevere those obstacles, because a lot of times we do hear no, right? And I'm sure you and I could, both dialogue on this, like, from experiences. You never want to be, quote unquote, like, blackballed from something, right? Or kind of like feel like you're stepping on toes, or feel like, man, like, if I mess this up, will another opportunity come about? Yeah. But I think it's unique, and I can relate with you on that level, where it's like, when you have faith and you work and you just, like, keep being persistent, sometimes, man, you just, like, break through that, you know what I'm saying, that boundary, that wall, and it just happens, right? Yeah. It's amazing, man. And I think that's kudos to what you just talked about. Like, you reached out to the Harvey show, no response, but hey, man, like, this was your moment right here. You capitalized, and the rest is history, like, that's awesome, man. Very noble, and a big life lesson that I'm sure a lot of people can come away with and learning that, so. Oh, man, I hope they do. Yeah. Don't sit there and watch an opportunity go by. It's yours. If you know it's yours, let's go for it. And if somebody feels some type of way about it, them. I mean, screw them. My grandma's over there. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yo, I just really felt that. Like, that's how I really feel sometimes. I really feel that. Yeah. Like, yo, like, it's yours, man. Take it. What would you say is your biggest piece of advice to the youth as someone growing up who had dreams and aspirations and achieved it, when it comes down to setting goals and the youth taking steps towards achieving their goals? And I know you just hit on a lot of key points, but I was the biggest key point. Break rules. Okay. You have to. Like, if you're coming from nothing, right, and you're trying to be something, following the rules all the time will not get you what you want, right? Like, it's just, you gotta be that person that is willing to take that humongous risk every time and just deal with the consequences if they come after. But you're not gonna die. Right? Who's gonna kill you, like, for doing these things? Like, like, I just think about it, like, there's nothing worse than death. Death is like the ultimate end game, right? If you die, that's game over. If this thing that you have to do, you're still alive, you still won. Like, in my book, you won. And I give you a lot of respect, because not a lot of people have the balls to do what you're about to do, you know? Like with the LeBron thing, just to continuously, I asked him that question like 8 times in a row, and my voice carries over all these reporters. So it's like, he heard me. I know I was getting annoying, but it's just the willingness to say, I didn't come here for anything. I wasn't born on this planet for anything. I think the issue is sometimes in these moments we become more humble. And to become more humble, when you know in your mind the universe put it in front of you to have it, don't become more humble. At this point, this is when humbleness has to stop. Dessert. Okay. Oh, this is for my dessert. Dessert time, almost, yeah. At that point, that's when humbleness needs to stop. Don't be humble when you see an opportunity that was meant for you and the universe put it there in front of you. Stop being humble, because every calculation that the universe put in front of you has calculated for this to be your moment. Take it, So are you saying, and I don't mean to cut you off, so are you trying to say, when being humble, that there's a line where you feel like if you are too humble, then an opportunity may bypass because you are, okay, gotcha. Just wanted to clarify. That's why I was curious, yeah. So, okay, that makes sense, right? Because then if you're overly cautious, right, and you're kind of like too tentative, like if you didn't say anything to Steve Harvey, or if you didn't try to reach out, get your question over the 45 million reporters for LeBron, then you wouldn't have had that experience in that moment for yourself. So, gotcha, okay. That's valuable life lesson, valuable lessons, and that goes with his break the rules statement, where he's not saying, go to school and start acting the fool, but I think it's the life aspect,
The life.
right? Where it's like, this is,
Yeah.
good stuff, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
humility is sometimes the killer of opportunity.
Right.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I've seen it. And when it's me paired with a partner of somebody, and it's like the humble guy who just is like, he's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I instinctively just say, no, we're not doing that. Like, look at us, man.
Right.
We deserve this. Like, we work hard. You know, we're like, you know, like just you being born is a freaking like one in how many? Like, you know, like you're a cell that actually came into existence, like out of the rest. You're meant to be here. You're the strong that shall survive.
Blessing for sure, right? A blessing for sure.
Yes.
To see those days. I want to transition here too. So music is big for you.
Yes.
Take me through your music aspirations and what that magic and music and finding that balance.
I want to be one of the most inspirational, iconic figures of time. And I know with being iconic, it's not necessarily about what you do, it's what you stand for, right?
Right.
And I want to be the representation that anything is possible, right? And I see this great vision in my head that I've had since I was a kid of combining music with magic. Having the first ever tour where it's a music concert, but it's also a magic show.
That'd be so.
Right?
That'd be like, that's epic, man. I had to cut him off right there, but that is like, I was thinking the same thing when you were saying that. I was like, bro, that's like, because that's 1 in a million, literally, right? Like that's like.
Yeah. And especially when it comes to hip hop.
Right.
Hip hop is so influential, and it's so cool. Hip hop brings the cool to things, right? And I think magic is cool too.
Right.
If you marinate the two and just combine the two together, I think this will be something that I don't even think like peers of mine in the magic nor music industry could ever replicate, right? This would be the true representation of like just some crazy idea that why did we all not think about it? Like, you know, we all could have did it. Like, I think Kanye West probably is the closest that could probably pull off a magic show / music concert, right?
Right.
But I got the years of training in it, of the art form and really being involved in it, you know. But nonetheless, you know, this concept of music and magic being put out into the atmosphere, it will be so groundbreaking. I think it'd be the most unique show on the planet ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
That is, like, it truly would be, I think. And I think it would put you in a class of your own, like you said, because it's not something you would ever see every day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think it'd be the closest thing to like the next Hamilton.
okay.
Like, I watched Hamilton, I loved it.
Right.
I was like rapping and like theater. This is great. This is amazing, right? And it was done so well. I feel like that's the equivalent of what I'm about to do.
Gotcha. I can see it. Like, I visualize it while you're saying it. That's, to me, is like, that's profound, though, because that's a good, you know, comparison of what you're trying to do, ultimately where you're trying to be at. And it's definitely obtainable, and I'm sure you'll get there, and we're excited to see you get to that stage. What are some of the pressures that come with being a musician and being a magician and being an overall influencer?
You know, I don't like the word influencer.
Okay.
This is why, right? Because I think the word is just tainted.
What would you say instead of that?
Icon.
Icon. Okay.
I feel like icon feels better.
But that's a deep word too. So why icon?
I feel like icons make a big impact in whatever they do. Their goal is not to influencers. Like, when you think about an influencer, like, you think about the guy that you follow on Instagram that's like really funny with jokes,
right.
But then he has the word influencer, and it's like, what does he really influence?
Gotcha. Okay.
You know?
Right.
It's like, yo, what is he really influencing in this crowd or niche? And he doesn't change anything throughout the course of time in history. Like, my whole goal is to change that, not just for me, but for people like you know, my brother, my family, I'm not doing these things because they're achievable. I'm doing these things to show you that they are achievable. Right? I'm not even doing it for myself. I just really want to be the representation to show you that, yo, you can do it too. Because in my head, it's like, yo, I just got to make sure that people know that this is still possible. You know? It's magic. Magic is always supposed to look impossible, right? Or the impossible is always supposed to look like magic. And that's what everybody has to go through. Some really weird, impossible experience. Like, how am I going to be like, you know, the world's greatest sports interviewer in the world, right? It's like this weird idea you got in your head, and how's it gonna happen, and it's impossible, and then you make it happen. But the pressures. One, being a musician. Sometimes I always think like, dude, this music I'm making, I'm like, I like it, but then I'm like, it's weird because I haven't had the same confidence that I had with Magic, so I always wonder like, if it's like good and so good that people will show up.
Gotcha.
Right? And then with Magic, the pressure is just re-innovating Magic, right? Because you don't want to keep doing the same tricks that everybody's seeing. You want to kind of bring something a little different. I've already achieved the personality, but I want to bring something different. And then the last thing with being an icon, the pressure with that is not fading out, which I don't think I will, because at some points I thought I already did. I was like, bro, I'm washed up. Like, this happened really quick. Okay, all right, so I guess we'll just kind of wait until, you know, that comes. And then I'm like, oh, whoa, I'm still a thing. Like, the fans still come up to me and interact with me. And it's weird, because to me, I don't know how famous I am sometimes. Like, I was just out there on the first pitch, and like some kids came up to me, was like, Jibrizy, and then some older people, you know who I am, and I'm like, then I got on the field and it was like, got really loud. I'm like, yo, whoa, like I don't know how many people really know who I am, you know? So that's the part that really gets me. Like, I don't really know the impact I've left sometimes. So to me, I always feel like I'm starting back from like let's just say on a scale of 1 through 10, I think I'm still at like 30%. Right? Like, I don't even think I'm like past 50, but sometimes I'm like, maybe you are past 50. I don't know. Like, I just don't know, bro. I don't know the impact I've left at all.
And it goes back to our earlier where we were saying like, you just never know who's watching, truly, right? Like,
yeah.
You just really know. Did you need that?
Yeah, we can do. I'll pick it up. Later.
That was just dessert token. Very important though. You need the dessert.
Yeah, man.
Think about the dessert after too. I'm not one to normally bring this up, but I'm curious to know because we tweeted out, I am the definition of magic. That's a responsibility.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that you're the definition of magic?
This is why I feel like I'm the definition of magic. I sometimes think about my story. It's like this broke kid, you know, that no one like believed in. He wanted to do magic. You know, some people thought it was a phase. Some people just truly didn't believe I was like ever gonna be anything, right? Even as I went through the industry of the magic industry, a lot of people didn't believe like I'd be as good as or as known as I am, right? As great as I am. No one believed in anything, and then it's all these obstacles put in front of me. Some I didn't fully conquer, and some I completely conquered. You know, but I have way more wins than losses. And like at the end of the day, I never became discouraged. Which was the greatest thing. And it's crazy because the one thing that I know, like a lot of people who don't like me, the one thing they always told me, right? Because I'm not scared to talk to anybody. So I talk to people who don't like Jibrizy, right?
How can anybody not like you, man?
You'll be very surprised. I'm like, yo, I heard people didn't like Will Smith. I'm like, who doesn't like Will Smith?
Like Will Smith?
Yeah, but there are people who don't like Will Smith. And I'm like, yo, people won't like some things. Like, this is weird. But the one thing that they always had to give me respect for was I didn't give up. And that was the biggest thing. It was the audacity to think that all because something got in my way was going to stop me, right? No, it just made me want to go even harder. That's why I believe I'm the definition of magic. It's because magic is like, this endless supply of energy.
Right.
I'm not like it's just don't give up, and I feel like that's exactly what I am. I'm not giving up. Endless supply of energy. I'm gonna be here forever. Like there's nothing. I honestly feel like there's nothing that can stop me. At the end of the day, I literally feel like the only thing that could stop me is death. But even in my death, I think I'm still gonna be like, pretty prevalent, like Houdini, we say Houdini. I think when I die, we might even start saying Jibrizy. I think it might be that bad. Like, I think it might be that infectious.
That's no, and I like what you, especially earlier when you hit on, like, your journey is one of perseverance. So in itself, that's magical because, like you said, you never gave up, man. And you still won't. That's not part of your blood. That's not part of your DNA. And like to have that characteristic and that trait, you know what I mean? It's magical. It's magical. In many ways. So that's cool, man. I really appreciate you explaining that. That was really nice to see and see it from your perspective because like you said, it's magic could be inferred in different ways, but you use it as a way to like, man, this is my story, my journey, my path. So
yeah,
that's incredible, man. I want to ask you this. Of course, your brother, Jakai. Shout out Jakai.
Shout out Jakai. What's up?
A friend of mine, balling right now in Charlotte.
Yes.
Yep. Former Waukegan Bulldog too, and I know you former Waukegan.
Mm-hmm.
So I reached out to Jakai yesterday. I was like, man, you got to give me some like tidbits of info about you that nobody else really knows.
Oh no.
So I got a few.
Oh no.
But,
okay.
But I need to know this. Are you the only vegan magician that you know?
No. What in the world?
How many? Are you not vegan?
Okay, so I'm going vegan. It's very hard to do here in Chicago. Vegetarian.
Okay.
We still have not made that full step. I gotta still make that full step.
And there's that difference too.
Yeah.
So this is why one should never leak their sources. But unfortunately, I leaked my source. And we kind of sound like, oh damn, we kind of messed that up a little bit.
Jakai said the only vegan magician
No,
you
you
know?
didn't say you're the only vegan magician. You just said that you were vegan. So I'm asking you, are you the only?
I'm technically,
Okay.
I was going vegan and then I got here and then it's just hard to be vegan here in Chicago, man.
Right.
It's not a culture for it.
Deep dish pizza, gyros,
Bro,
sandwiches.
it's hard to wake up in the morning and to have like an amazing breakfast. It's just, and I work too much, so I'm like always moving. So I'm like, crap, like this is hard.
You gotta find the time to eat. You're like, man, 6 o'clock on it. Like,
yeah, man, I'm like, I'm dying, man. All this damn magic I done did. I've done so much magic, and the only thing I did not do is make food disappear in my face. Like,
you gotta find a way, man.
Yeah.
I was also told, and this isn't to put you on blast.
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Oh my God.
That was your thing. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
Cards. What was your go-to card? And do you see any similarities with what you do magically and then this game? Yeah.
All right. So Yu-Gi-Oh, my favorite card. I think it's the creator of Incarnation or the Magician of Incarnation.
Okay.
It was the coolest card to me. I don't know why. It was the dopest one. I used to play with Yu-Gi-Oh cards as if they just popped out the ground.
Okay.
And I created a whole little storyline and would pick one person to be the lead character, and he had to go through dungeons and fight people and meet other people because I didn't have any toys.
Right.
So that my Yu-Gi-Oh cards would be my toys. Like I kind of just in my imagination envisioned them like being real characters.
Yeah, that's really cool because, like, I think that did you see any like similarities between playing with Yu-Gi-Oh cards and then as you were preparing, obviously with Magician,
messing with
cards, messing with cards, and like, man, this is like, you know what I mean? Obviously, they don't have their
a little bit.
Spell or this card, you know what I mean? But
Yu-Gi-Oh always says this. Yu-Gi says, "Put your heart in the cards."
Right.
Before he draws the card, and it's kind of weird how I love that line and then ended up being a magician.
Right.
Because I put my heart in the cards.
There you go, right there.
Look at that. Hey, yo, that gotta be a bard.
We brought it all together, full circle. He wasn't even expecting that, and that's the thing. We brought it all together, full circle, right there. We overcame our vegetarian question, and we did it right there, and we got it full circle. I was a big fan of the Blue Eyes Dark Dragon.
Oh yeah, that was
Blue Eyes White Dragon. Is that
the Red Eyes Dark Dragon.
Red Eyes Dark Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. I just thought the card was dope.
Three-headed Blue Eyes White Dragon with a black luster soldier on top. Okay. It's the dopest card, bro. It looks so boss. It's the 5,000 attack points. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, perfect. 5,000 right there, man.
5,000 attack points. Great card.
So we hit on things that I already know about you. But what's one thing about Jibrizy that not many people know that you can share with us?
Oh.
Aside from magic, aside from music, aside from being this guy that's everywhere, what's one thing that not many people know about you?
Okay. Oh man. I'm a woman. No, I'm playing. No, let me stop. No, okay. I'm totally joking.
What happened right now, man? You just... I know I'm just too many questions.
It's like, dude, you didn't ask this one? No. My biggest weaknesses.
Okay.
I got two of them. I'm only gonna give you one, okay? Chocolate chip cookies. My biggest weakness ever.
I feel you on that.
Yes.
That's me 100%.
Are you the same way?
Same way.
Oh man.
Are you?
You're screwed just like me.
Jewel chocolate chip cookies? Have you had?
Ooh, boy.
Yo,
come on.
Hey,
yo.
Wait, Jewel, right now. Wait, hold on. No, I'm not any celebrity status by any means, but this guy right here. But if you guys want to endorse this out, hey, tell him.
If you did Jules, if you just need somebody to sponsor those cookies that you make, I'll do it for free. FREE. Just send me a pack every month. We be straight. I got you.
And if you get someone to me too for bringing up that question, that'd be great. We'll bring it.
And send some to my man too.
So Jewel chocolate chip cookies.
Yes.
Is that it, or like what is that? Was that?
I'm only giving you one weakness.
No, but is that what is Jewel chocolate chip cookies? What you were gonna say, or is there another brand?
No, that's probably the best one.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually know, bro. We share the same Jules has the best chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah. This is awesome, dude. Like,
yeah.
I think we just became best friends, man.
Yeah, we gotta go buy a pack and just chill and play Yu-Gi-Oh together.
We need to get this recording and go see what their chocolate chip cookies are like right now. That's awesome though, man. So okay, so you gave me one of your weaknesses. The second, we'll just have to hold off. That'll have to be on a future interview or something like that, or down the line. But before we do let you go, I did ask you this off the camera. So if you're still comfortable with it,
I'm still comfortable.
You're still down to do a little trick for us? To show off our Spallone Sports? Hold up.
Hold up.
And he's gonna know this too.
Wait.
Oh man.
Crap. I just.
How many sports reporters out there, sports media entities, get a magician on the show, man?
Bro, I got a.
Oh, you got a little.
Yeah, I got a splinter. Do you see it?
I don't see it.
That thing is like, that was really bad, but this room is not the safest. There's a splinter right there.
Oh man, I don't even see it.
Can the camera get it? It's a splinter right there. No? I'm so surprised, man, you don't see it. Like, a lot of people end up seeing the splinter. Let me see if I can.
Really?
Here.
What?
Wait a second. Ooh! Ooh! Oh! Okay. Yeah, man. I'm surprised you couldn't see that whole thing just sitting inside my finger, bro.
Wait. No way, man.
Oh.
You captured all this, right? You're gonna have to watch. I'm gonna have to watch this bag like at least 20 times. You just.
What's up, man?
How did that happen? Yo, that was the craziest thing. You guys saw the finger too, man. I'm not just like.
Yeah. Be careful, bro. Okay. You don't want to get that lodged in your finger.
Bro, that is, man. Yeah, we're not gonna touch this side, man. I don't need like this toothpick coming out of my. Yo, wait.
What?
How did this happen, man? I know
I don't know.
Never reveal. Illusionist can't reveal, but like so many questions right now. I don't even know, man. I was literally looking at his hand the whole time, and I have no idea. I'm not allowed to curse, but this ish is wild, man. That was wild. My God, man. Jibrizy, I really appreciate your time, man. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man. We'll let you enjoy the rest of the game, grab some food, and kick back and kick it, man.
Let's do it.
We gotta figure that out, man. Appreciate you.